What's up, people? Jay here. Just got done watching WWE No Mercy, the SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view on the WWE Network. A lot of interesting developments on the show tonight. One of those interesting developments, the fact that what we all thought to be the main event going into No Mercy actually kicked off the show. The WWE World Championship triple threat match. We had Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton occupying that traditional spot that's reserved for the main event, the last match of the show. Becky Lynch was unable to defend her WWE Women's Championship because of an undisclosed medical issue, but her challenger, Alexa Bliss, she still competed tonight. She actually lost. And speaking of losers, Dolph Ziggler, I can't make fun of him anymore because he won. He won. He beat The Miz. He's the new Intercontinental Champion, and he gets to wake up employed tomorrow. So a lot of stuff happened. We'll be talking about all of that stuff in detail, going down the card match by match. And I would love it if you guys joined in on the conversation and did the exact same thing. Well, not the exact same thing. It's kind of a little different. You got to leave your comments down in the comment section below. Let me know what you thought about No Mercy from top to bottom, and where do we go from this point? Based off of all of the goings on this show, what can SmackDown do to capitalize off of some of these moments? I'll be talking about that, and let's get started with that conversation. AJ Styles defending versus John Cena and Dean Ambrose. The WWE World Championship match, the main event, also the opening contest of No Mercy. So this match got started off with a chant from the crowd, or dueling chants. It was, "Let's go Cena, AJ Styles," and that right there set the tone for what the hell this match was going to be, because it seemed as if, to me, it was mostly about AJ Styles and John Cena, and Dean Ambrose just trying to scratch his way in to get a little bit of attention, but they kept tossing his ass right out of the ring, and he seemed like the odd man out to me for the majority of this match. He didn't really play a significant role in this match until we got to the point where John Cena had AJ Styles in the STF, and then Dean Ambrose jumped in and he prevented AJ Styles from tapping out. That was the most important thing that Dean Ambrose had done in that match up until that point. And it didn't really seem like a triple threat match to me until after we had, well, I guess this was a catalyst for it, that moment where Dean Ambrose had AJ Styles in a submission, and then John Cena went and, for whatever fucking reason, locked in the STF, and AJ Styles tapped out to both of them, and then the referee is like, I don't know what the fuck to do. You know, who won? I don't know. I guess we'll go ahead and continue on with the match. And they continue on with the match, and after that point, that's when I truly felt like it was a triple threat match, that Dean Ambrose had found a position for himself, because otherwise he was just trying to scratch and get into what seemed like it was a one-on-one match, John Cena versus AJ Styles. And shit, as you can tell from the chant that started off the match, I guess people would have been fine with that, but I digress. This was a damn good match, and with AJ Styles getting the win and the end, him attacking John Cena with the steel chair after Cena hit Dean Ambrose with the attitude adjustment, it's, you know, some heel shit, and I don't think that it reflects negatively upon who AJ Styles is, and I'm glad that they can continue to give him moments like this where you maintain the heelness of AJ Styles, but you also continue to send the message that this guy is fucking good. Like, he's damn good. And I've said that The Miz is the most entertaining thing going on in WWE right now. Like, on a week-to-week basis, I'll stand by that. But when it comes to rising to the occasion, those big match moments, and every time AJ steps into the ring, it feels like a big match moment, especially on pay-per-view. When it comes to him having to rise to that occasion, there's no one in WWE better than him. And tonight, he was on it. This was a damn good match, good outing from all of those involved. And even though I'm not really feeling Dean Ambrose that much, I do have to, in retrospect, go back, because I was having fun talking shit about Dean Ambrose in that preview video. But I do got to say, the narrative that he had, him being screwed over and trying to fight his way back to the WWE World Championship, it was nice. So I'll give him props there. Overall, really good match. Enjoyed it. Interesting structure to have this be the opening contest. And it actually did. I'll talk about that later. But the next match that we have, Nikki Bella versus Carmella. Nikki Bella wins this match. I wanted Carmella to win. I said that in my preview. That was my prediction. Just, you know, so they would show some kind of effect to all of these attacks that she's been waging against Nikki Bella, but Nikki Bella ends up getting the victory here, and I finally got a chance to see some of that aggression that I've been wanting from Nikki. Like, she's been going around smiling and, oh, she's a bootleg Bella, and, you know, like laughing and shit like that. Finally, when it came to crunch time, as soon as the match started, she was on her ass, and I was like, okay, Nikki, I see you. Finally, here's that aggression. Here's you realizing that homegirl wants to end your damn career, and you need to do something about that. You need to fight fire with fire, and she definitely did that throughout the match, and Nikki Bella ends up getting the win, which is cool. I'm cool with that because, like I talked about, SmackDown, what they've done with building up the show, they provided themselves with viable options where I'm not going to be too pissed off one way or another if this person wins or that person wins, as long as it's executed correctly. But I do got to say this. Speaking of being executed correctly, this match, it was rough in patches because I've always looked at Carmella as a person who is not quite ready yet for the big stage. She didn't even make it to the big stage down in NXT. So we are to expect her to do something like, what are we to expect from her on the main roster? And I guess, shit, not much, because it's very easy to go out and attack people in these very small, you know, short segments. But when a match is placed into your hands for you to carry it and for you to command it, you being the heel and you dictating the pace of the match, it kind of fell flat a little bit there. And Nikki, she tried to fight back in, and she did well. I'm not going to go as far as to say that Nikki is a ring general and she held it down. Now, shit, she's like a ring captain, you know, or ring first lieutenant, you know, so not exactly a ring, maybe a major, you know, but that's as far as I'm going to go. So this match did have some issues. It wasn't just a complete wash and, you know, terrible, but, you know, it was nice, but it was rough in spots. Heath, Slater, and Rhino versus the Usos for the WWE Tag Team or SmackDown Tag Team titles. I had to face reality in this match that, well, first let me say the Usos, they look damn good. I want them to get a win. Like, WWE, you need to find some kind of way to capitalize off of this good shit that they're doing, because this gimmick, like, we finally got it right with the Usos. They're showing some attitude in their characters, and it's extending to some that aggression in the ring, and I wish they would capitalize off of that. But once again, we arrive in a situation where WWE provides themselves with viable options, where even though I wanted the Usos to win so they could capitalize off of that, it's not like things are completely terrible because they didn't win. Because what I saw in Heath, Slater, and Rhino tonight, I finally can look at them as more than a gimmick. They added credibility to themselves tonight, and I look at them as a real tag team now, because I was just so wrapped up in the journey that Heath Slater was going on to get a contract. You know, the above ground pool, the double wide trailer, providing more room for those 26 raggedy ass kids. I forgot which Uso said it, but that was fucking hilarious. They said it a few weeks ago on SmackDown. So yeah, he's doing well for the 26 raggedy ass kids. And I was thinking that, okay, now that he's got the contract, you know, take the fucking titles and put it on a real team now. And tonight they proved to me that I don't necessarily need to think like that, because they are a real team. So if I look at it from that perspective, this match definitely was a success, because I'm looking at them like, okay, I can buy you as tag champions, but I am so damn ready for the Usos versus American Alpha that I just want to push that fast forward button and, you know, jump right to that. But yeah, I'll give you, you know, a little tip to the hat for doing something worthwhile in the meantime. Next up, we have Baron Corbin versus Jack Swagger. What I was looking for with this match was Baron Corbin to basically beat the shit out of Jack Swagger, and I pretty much got that. This match was every single thing that it needed to be, and I just love that character of Baron Corbin so friggin' much, to how, you know, I was thinking he was going to be so pissed off with the way that match ended on SmackDown that he was going to go into this match at No Mercy with some intensity, and that's exactly what he did. Straight out of the gate, just on Jack Swagger, and within the first minute or two of the match, the narrative was already established. He goes to attack the hand of Jack Swagger, and I just love the thought of the character Baron Corbin in that moment, because you could tell he was embarrassed by what happened on SmackDown, and he's like, damn it, you won't pull this shit on me again. I'm gonna make sure that it's impossible. And you could see it throughout the match, the times where Jack Swagger attempted to lock on the ankle lock. He couldn't get it on fully because of that injured hand. And just the thought of the character of Baron Corbin to do something like that, that's great shit. That's that type of stuff that I like, those calculated individuals where you can see a connection between the character and what they do in the ring. And Baron Corbin, he's not getting praise right now. Like, people just, I guess they just look at Baron Corbin like he's just there. But damn it, I really like the character of Baron Corbin. He's a solid mid-carder, and this was a really good match. Like I said, they had one objective: have Baron Corbin go out there and beat the shit out of Jack Swagger, and that's what he did. And overall success. So good job on both guys. Baron Corbin wins with the End of Days. And also at No Mercy, we had the career versus title match. Dolph Ziggler versus the Intercontinental Champion, The Miz, and Dolph Ziggler is your winner and new Intercontinental Champion. Now, I was reading some of the reaction on Twitter, and I see a lot of people really like this match. I had a few issues with it. One really big issue, and kind of pissed me off a little bit. And that big issue is the fact that WWE has snatched away one of my great joys in life. I've had so much fun taking the piss out of the disgruntled uppity jobber that is Dolph Ziggler, and I can't make fun of him for being a loser anymore. You guys don't even know. I had a whole bit planned out, jokes and shit like that. I was going to throw a little party for Dolph Ziggler, you know, his exit party from WWE, and I can't do any of that right now because he won. He won. But, yeah, like, I gotta give credit to WWE for I gotta give credit to the SmackDown creative team for telling a story in this way. If you just look at all of the individual components of this story, The Miz, the way that he has evolved as a performer, you go back to that amazing promo that he cut on Talking Smack, that big moment with him and Daniel Bryan calling him a coward, and you can actually see the effect of those words on The Miz in the ring. He's mocking Daniel Bryan, using some of his moves, and he's actually really improved as an in-ring performer because just his ego can't take someone calling him a coward. He's like, damn it, you know what? I am going to be everything you thought that I was not. And like I said, he's evolved as a performer, and he's the most must-see thing going on in WWE on a week-to-week basis. And you have Dolph Ziggler, who has had to come face-to-face with his own mediocrity and realize that this false reality that he created for himself, it wasn't what was going on in real life for the rest of us. And he had to have this reality check. And he talked about that on Talking Smack after SmackDown when he was talking about how, what did he say? Yeah, I've been doubting myself, and I had to give myself that ultimatum because I had to say to myself, if I am not as good as I think I am, if I'm not as good as I know I should be, then I should not be here. And he had to put his own feet to the fire to have himself step up. And he said that if he doesn't defend the championship, every single time like he defended it tonight on that show, then, you know, he'll have to reassess what he does from that point on. And then you look at Daniel Bryan, and The Miz actually cut another great promo earlier on in the night on No Mercy, talking about how Daniel Bryan gave him shot after shot after shot, you know, all of these opportunities after Dolph Ziggler continued to fail time and time again. And I guess it's because Daniel Bryan saw a bit of himself and Dolph Ziggler, knowing what it's like to have all of this adversity on you and people just out to get you and things like that. So yeah, just a wonderfully told story from top to bottom, and to see it end in this way, I gotta say, I really like it. And yeah, this was a damn good match from these two people on this show. That skull-crushing finale that The Miz hit at the, towards the end, I thought that was it. I really thought that was it, and I jumped up out of my damn seat when I saw that that was just a near fall and the match was continuing on at that point. And I really like how this match was structured in the sense where you had Dolph Ziggler overcome so many things that have held him down previously, like with Maryse spraying the stuff in his face, her trying to get involved in the match with Spirit Squad coming out and interfering, and just him finally slaying that beast, you know, putting them back in that box and shipping their asses off, you know, back to OVW. A lot of great stuff in this match, and so much great stuff that I sit here and I wonder, why was this match not the fucking main event of the show? There was no reason in the world why this match should not have been the main event as far as I'm concerned. There's no logical reason why. And Dolph Ziggler talked about that on Talking Smack as well, because, you know, there's certain stuff that happens and, you know, stuff goes on. And I feel like as great as this match was, the atmosphere would have been that much better and just been the cherry on top if they had restructured the show and put them in the main event. Because, you know, going and looking at what happened with, I'll talk about that later, but yeah, this match should have been the fucking main event, and it boggles my mind as to why it was not. Even though they didn't have that spot, damn it, they still came away with the match of the night honors from me. Naomi versus Alexa Bliss. This was, Naomi was a replacement for Becky Lynch because Becky Lynch she has this undisclosed medical injury, and they're saying that it wasn't caused from anything in ring, so I don't know what the hell is going on there. All I do know is that she wasn't able to compete on the show and defend the title, so we had Naomi as a replacement, and Naomi actually beat Alexa Bliss. So now, with that being said, the questions pop up. What happens with Naomi? Is she inserted into the championship picture because she beat the person that was to be the number one contender? And you have to wonder about Alexa Bliss because she's running around telling everyone, well, I am going to beat Becky Lynch. Well, are we to expect you to beat Becky Lynch at any point in the near future when you couldn't even handle someone who was not champion on this show? And I'm glad that they actually had her beat in this match tonight at No Mercy, because as far as I'm concerned, she wasn't ready for that moment. And you could tell that throughout the match too. This suffered from the same issue that I had with Nikki Bella versus Carmella. You have a heel, a green heel that's still developing. They haven't fully developed into what they need to be for the main roster, and they're tasked with dictating the pace of the match. And it was worse in this case because I saw a lot of botches throughout here, and I never really got into the match because it was just too disjointed in points for me to really jump on board with it. So yeah, not much that I can say about this. But as far as Alexa Bliss losing, that has value to me where the match itself does not. And finally, we have the last match of the night, Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton. There was absolutely nothing about this fucking match that demanded it have the main event slot. And I'm gonna give you guys fair warning. I'm about to throw some shade here. I'm thinking that they took what was the actual main event, the WWE World Championship Triple Threat match, and put that on as the first match of the night because with the debate going on, they wanted as many eyeballs as possible on that match. So if you look at the reverse of that, okay, well, we know that people are going to be into the debate at this point. So we'll take that match and put it on at the beginning of the show. Shit, I guess it only makes sense that you put Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt as a final match of the night because you knew nobody would give a fuck then. Like, is that what we were supposed to think? Like, oh, nobody would give a fuck about missing that one? Maybe, but shit, as far as I'm concerned, the debate, I think it was still going on at the point where, or it was actually going on at the point where Dolph Ziggler and The Miz, they had their match too. So why couldn't they be in the main event? This doesn't make sense to me. And honestly, this left a sour taste in my mouth ending the show with this match. I'm not going to go and say that this was a bad match. It was technically sound. It was a solid match, but nothing demanded it be in the main event. And also with them ending with Luke Harper in the surprise appearance and him causing Randy Orton to lose the match, it just left a sour taste in my mouth because that was everything that I thought SmackDown was not. And they were moving in a different direction than Monday Night Raw, but the surprise appearances and the shocking moments and things like that, like, to have that be the final image in my mind for this SmackDown show, I just didn't like that. So, yeah. And I'm cool with Luke Harper. It's nice to see he's back. You know, good shit. But especially for a feud that I didn't give a damn about beforehand and then just throwing that on, it's like compounding issues. And for that to be, okay, this is what we want the final image of this show to be. It kind of I'm not gonna say it ruined things for me, but it brought my mood down. Like I would have loved to leave that show on the note of Dolph Ziggler winning the Intercontinental Championship. And for the life of me, I can't figure out why. Like, the only thing that I can think of is, oh, we know people aren't going to give a fuck about this match, so we'll put it in the spot that we did not want the World Championship match. But I don't think WWE thinks like that, especially with Randy Orton. They're probably thinking, shit, well, you know, out of all of these guys, out of the 4 guys, or out of, you know, between the Intercontinental Championship match and the Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt, of course, Randy Orton is the biggest star out of all of them, so let's give him the main event slot. There's no reason why that Intercontinental Championship match should not have closed out the show. And all you had to do was make that little change right there, and this overall show would have had a very different feel to it. But where I'm standing right now, it was still a good show. But the structure of it, it definitely did, you know, throw things off a bit. And I understand why you went with the WWE World Championship match to start off the show, but that doesn't mean that, you know, with the effect, I'm saying, okay, well, let's just forget what I feel since you had a reason to doing it, to do it. I get it, but shit, I mean, what can I do with that? Not much as a viewer, but yeah, that's it for me. Let me know what you think about everything that I discussed in this video in the comment section below, and I'll catch you later. Peace.